Hello there. Right, how's my you know what? Box. So, you should have seen by now a few examples of me going and unboxing these watches. These are all the ones that came in the packaging here. I forgot that my phone will wobble. I wonder if my camera naturally counters it because I'm using a good phone. So, essentially what we have here is all of these watches need repairing. So I'm going to start with one, just the one, and we will work up from there to see just how much I'm going to need to do. So I have here my trusty watch repairing ring, and by that I mean the only ring that looks decent on my hand. I'll tell you what, I need to make sure 100% fact that we are ready for this. So I have here a little work mat. Now this, I confess, will provide absolutely nothing because I have zero skill whatsoever, but we will work as if it will help me. So we will start with, what should we start with? Should we start with the one I wanted to fix the most, shall we? This rotary here. Now I'm going to zoom in. That is a rotary I'm going to start with because this one will be the first one that sells, in my opinion. There's lots and lots and lots of watches in here. This will be the first one that sells. I will show you quickly 0.5. This is my desk. I'm using my desk to record. Please excuse my fat belly. But this will be what I use because when fixing it, I will need to order parts. I will need to order all sorts of stuff, really. Batteries, straps and everything. So that's going to be here where I record that. Let's start here, however, with this. So the first thing we're going to do is find a pen located. I'm not quite sure why it's recentered itself. It's rather annoying, actually. Oh well, you know what? This will be what we have to work with, or I could zoom out a little bit. We'll work with this. So, this I shall write down in my book, show you exactly the process that I use. Why are you suddenly rotating on me? So this is the blue dial gold rotary. Cool. Now this will be needing new straps. So the first thing I'm going to do is measure the straps using this. This is a micrometer. Currently 0.00 mil. Take it here. Or you can also do the insides like this. But I find it easier to just squeeze this slightly, which shows 15.9, so 16 millimeters. So we then write down that the rotary, God, there's a lot of shake on the camera, I'm so sorry. I'll show you at some point why there is so much camera shake, and it's because you're currently balanced between a bronze eagle and a TARDIS until I can buy a tripod. So new straps, and that's going to be 16 millimeters. And I now have to decide what color would suit the gold and the blue best. And there's a lot of different colors that would suit that quite well. I could continue, but stop shaking, camera, for God's sake. I could continue and do a blue strap with the blue dial and the gold, but I think this sort of tan brown suits it quite well. So I'm going to say tan or blue of 16 mil. Now, the next part, the buckle I can polish and keep the original rotary buckle. You can see why I need to replace the straps. I mean, look at that. That is just collapsing on itself. Cool. The next thing we need to do, I've got a lot of tools, but I have the one thing that comes in handy, which I'm going to zoom out and show you, is this. This is my Go Everywhere repair kit. In a nice beige leather case. So I'm now going to find the case back thing, which is here. I'm going to call it case back thing because there's a ridge on it. I don't know the professional term. And we're going to dig up and it will flip up naturally. That one came off quite easily, but it might not do so all the time. Perfect. Now with a pair of tweezers, I think they're called tweezers. I've always called them pliers, but they're supposed to be called tweezers. Mr. Woody would always get quite upset with me for that. This is way too thick of a battery. So this is a 364, but I'm going to assume the 377, the flatter option of the two, will fit in the movement nicely. And if that is all, I have a box here, forgive me. If that is all that needs doing to it, that will save me a lot of trouble. And the last thing you want to do is what I've just done, which is drop the battery. So now you have to slide that under there, but also underneath that tongue, which appears to have been bent down out of place. So we're going to unbend that. My head's not in the, it was in the camera view, wasn't it? Perfect. So now, using tweezers for this is the professional way of doing it. It makes very little difference. You're supposed to wear finger clots. I don't have any of them coming. I'll tell you what I'm going to do is pause the video and then I will be back once this is done. So apologies for the delay, but it was a 364 battery initially that was too thick. It still sits a bit too high for my liking, but it's the only one that will fit it, and the 377 was thicker because 6.4 means 6.4 or 0.64 a mil, and then 7 means it's basically, I'm too tired to explain it because I'm an idiot, but essentially it is now in. And the interesting part is I'm going to place the movement back in this right here. And we'll pop this back on. Now I might need a special tool for this, but sometimes I can get away with it by hand. Sometimes. I think with this one I'm going to need that special tool I spoke about, yes. One moment please. In fact, I'm going to pause. Now, this is something called, I'm going to pop the watch here. This is what I call a case back tool. There are so many different names for it. This is the one I was shown. Now that will not break any glass in there, will it? Possibly. We'll make it slightly smaller one. So we now have to select these discs and slot them on here. Now this will be the bottom one. Now what this does, stop shaking. People are not going to watch this video if you keep shaking. Okay, much better. Right, sorry about that. I should try and edit this out. Placing this on the bottom because this watch needs to sit comfortably on the base like that. This doesn't fit comfortably. So I think I'll have to stick with the slightly larger one, which isn't, I don't enjoy, but I will do. And once that's screwed on there, this is going to be quite hard to film. Essentially, you put one on there, on the top here, and you twist this down and it will press the case into it with equal pressure. At least that is my hope. Let's find out if that is true. So we place that on there. Make sure that this is pointing the right way. Excuse my head. I'm going to try lifting this up a bit first. Would that fit it? Would it need the slightly smaller one? Yeah, probably need the slightly smaller one. I should have paused this. In fact, I will pause this. Right, so now will be a test of if I have gotten the sizes right. So we make sure this dial here is in the middle, because it makes for a most even fall instead of a biased fall. So now I'm going to make sure that that is on both sides, connecting. And that sound either means we've smashed the glass or the case back's in. That's the problem with something like this, you can never tell. However, glass, fully intact, case back, on. Slightly askew, which is bizarre. Might mean I've made a new hole for it. Anyway, the whole point of me showing you this was, do you see at the bottom there? The second hand is ticking. So all we needed was a battery replacement for this and a strap replacement. So now I'm going to try and unscrew. Oh no, imagine if I've snapped the crown and have to show you a crown replacement and everything. I don't think I have. God, I hope I haven't. Oh, I probably have snapped the crown. Oh, cock. Let's find out, shall we? Crown's not snapped. Fantastic. We're just going to pretend that that was the necessary. Right, no one will see this. No one will see this. It's fine. You can edit this out. Edit this out in post. I was supposed to stop recording, but I didn't, right? So, as you could see by me freaking out for no reason, I definitely didn't just edit out and be testing to see if I'd broken the crown or not. No, that would be a weird guess. I can now change the time to the correct time of recording, which is 13 minutes past the hour of 6. Now, with this being no date wheel on it, I could set that and it won't matter. So we'll go 13 minutes past the hour of 6. That's about there. Set that in, and that is a functioning watch. No movement needed, no replacement needed. So that is all we need for that. Now, are there any of the gems out here? No, so even the gems around the edge are still intact. In fact, there appears to be a layer of protecting over it. There is. That's a really good idea. I'm going to polish that though. The glass has a few scratches on it. What do we think? There you go. That's the best way of seeing the scratches. Do I replace the glass too? I could do. Right, so we'll walk you through it now. Let's see. Basically, you're supposed to take off this glass here by taking out the movement, the crown and everything, and then popping the glass out to test for the thickness as well. So now we find a small hole. Sometimes it is this one, sometimes it is this one. Oftentimes there will be an arrow, a helpful arrow pointing us to where it is. And you need to press the tip of this and you can simply pull the crown out. Now I cannot see for the life of me without my magnifying glass because I'm an old man. So I'm trying to locate the arrow, which I believe I saw as here. Pop that down and you can slide the crown and stem out. Now as you can see, the crown and stem are in one piece, which is fantastic news. Now we pop out the incredible incredibly beautiful dial. Like, that is gorgeous. If I ever want to modify one, I'm going to pop this on there. We'll pop this to one side in the bottom left of my mat, which I will show you. Here's my mat. Now I'm going to do the very stupid thing of trying to push this out just with my hands. If you can't initially do it, use the machine, which is what I'm going to do, because this machine also removes glass. But I'm going to need the smaller one of this, possibly like this one. Not even that, too big. We'll try the bigger one of these two. That's not going in. See, this does, but I don't like the angle that it does. So now, screw this back into here. This is way too long of a video, and I appreciate that. I am sorry. I'm going to edit it down as quick as I can. So now we push this down. Oh, that click was nice to hear, I admit. That means it's out. Yeah, it's out. That was a really satisfying glass removal. Thank God I recorded that, because it almost never goes that well for me. So now you'll be able to see, oh, I can wear it as a ring if I would like to. This is the exterior of the glass without, sorry, of the watch without the glass. Simply the case. I'm going to do a polish and add a gasket into that, or gasket, however you want to pronounce it. But we did that for a reason. We did that so we can get out this very lovely but smashed to bits piece of glass. Will it focus? It's not going to focus on a bit of glass, is it? What am I doing? So now we take this, zero it out, make sure it's at 0. We take the first measurement of the thickness. This is 1.4 millimeters thick, no question of it. It's in there, it's 1.4 mil. Drop it. Then we have to do the worst part, which is 259. 259. So what I do is I leave that there for a moment. I pick up my pen here, which was a gift from Claire. It's a fantastic pen. It's got a levelometer in too. It's awesome. And I write down that I also need, I'm going to put a mineral glass in it because it will not be sold for enough to justify a crystal. But I may change my mind on purchasing it. Mineral glass at 259 mil by 1.4 mil thickness. Cool. So that is everything I need to do on this watch. We have here the okay. Interesting. Sorry, the second hand has stopped. It's going, but ever so slightly. Which leads me to believe that outside of the... Oh, the stem is out, isn't it? God, I'm an idiot. I'm a complete fool. When the stem will... This will not work when the stem is out. Can you focus? So, this will be where I leave it. I'll pop this in frame so I can use this as a thumbnail. Thank you so much for watching. So you now know what I'm going to be doing. Replacing the glass, replacing the straps, polishing up the metal, adding a rubber gasket in and silicone greasing it. Everything that needs to be done. A full service bar replacing the movement, which conveniently does not need to be replaced. So I'm now going to pop this all back together and I will show you it back together and then we will end the video here. How's that? Fantastic. Awesome. So this is now, if it will focus, back in one piece, ready to be fully serviced. Again, bar the movement replacement very, very soon. I'm going to order parts once I've finished. I might do another one immediately, but we will see what happens. So thank you so much for watching. It's been an absolute pleasure, and I hope to see you all next time. Take care now. Bye bye.